Hi guys, welcome to Dave C. Straight from the Pit. On today's show, we're going to talk about the 1984 G.I. Joe hovercraft, Killer Whale. So down here in the pit, I've got the hovercraft up on the flag, and as you can see I have the box, and this is a Canadian edition for 1984. You can tell because it has French on it, and it says G.I. Joe in the 1982 to 1985 G.I. Joe block lettering. It doesn't say a real American hero underneath the G.I. Joe because this is a Canadian version, as I've stated. All the American versions would have a real American hero, like right under here. And it says hovercraft, Killer Whale. It's quite a large acronym, and I'm going to talk about that in a second when I get to the Marvel comic book. It sort of explains that. But yeah, I was lucky enough to get this box a few years ago, and I really liked this box because I got the hovercraft for Christmas in 1984. And I also got the Megatron Transformer, which is the Walther P-38 Transformer, G1, I guess it's called nowadays. And I got this, so I was so excited to get this because I really wanted it. And I asked Santa Claus to bring it. So when I saw it under the tree, I just totally freaked out, and I threw up. And I've said it before on this channel. I've told this story before. My mom will never forget that, and sometimes she reminds me of that. Just how excited I was the Christmas of 1984 to get this Killer Whale hovercraft. So here's the box flipped around, and it doesn't have the actual prototype photo like a lot of the 1982 and later on versions of G.I. Joe and Cobra vehicles would have. Instead, it has a drawing, kind of like the tactical battle platform or the USS Flag or some of the larger vehicles. Instead of the photo, they would have a drawing with basic ink colors like red and black. So this is what we have here. And yeah, looking at this thing, it just brings back memories from back then. And now, of course, my box of this is not the best. It's got some wear there. But this thing is 40 years old. So, I mean, yeah. So we can take a look at it. And it says hovercraft, Killer Whale. And here's that acronym I was talking about. Warrior, Hovering, Assault Launching Envoy. And there's the drawing of it. It says lower the loading ramp, open the troop compartment door, and the Joe team moves into action. Carries up to 9 figures. And you can see there, it looks kind of like there's maybe gung-ho, and it's kind of a loose little ink art drawing there. Is that CoverGirl there with the AK? I don't know, maybe. Anyway, yeah, so then it has it in French, of course. And then it says, elevating machine guns on rotating turrets. 8 surface-to-air missiles. 2 missile launchers pivot and elevate. 8 removable engine covers. Actual size shown. Push button to spin propellers. I'll talk about that in a second when we look at the actual product. Directional vanes pivot vertically and horizontally. And there's the depth charges that I remember. Pounder cannons elevate. And there's Cutter, who came with it. Includes hovercraft pilot Cutter. don't forget to clip and save Cutter's file card for your G.I. Joe command files. And his file card actually came inside of the box because, like I said a few seconds ago, the larger vehicles, they would commonly have the file card inside with the actual figure. And of course it came with this neat little sled that would shoot out the front. And it says, push button to launch sled for reconnaissance missions. Most G.I. Joe figures can scout ahead on land with the surveillance cycle. And there's the little motorcycle. And a friend of mine, Joseph, he sent me kind of an upgraded motorcycle for this killer whale. So I'll show you guys that in a bit. Release 6 depth charges to halt Cobra attack. Rolls in all directions. Floats in water. Storage compartment on bottom of hovercraft. And it came with 6 proof of purchase points, flag points, which is quite a bit. So that's a good one. You could send away for your Major Blood or your Cobra Commander figure. Here's the side of the box, and you can see that it has more of a photo type image instead of just a ink drawing on the back. And yeah, kind of back to where it said that it floats in water. I remember taking it in the bathtub with me when I was a kid, and it did float, and I remember that. And here's a closer look at the actual toy. And as you can see, I've kind of put the Joes in there that are on the actual box art. So I've got Roadblock there and Gung Ho manning the machine guns. And there they are. And then driving this thing, I've got Recondo and Cutter. And Cutter, of course, is the main pilot. And there he is. Came with a Boston Red Sox hat and a life jacket. And I remember thinking that was so cool back then. There's not a whole lot of room to put 2 guys in there, so I kind of have Recondo standing back a bit. But yeah, this Hector Greedo art is always such great art to look back on, and really had you getting really, really excited back in the day. Going into Toys R Us or Sears or, you know, the Bay or what have you. But I didn't put all these infantry Joes in there. I guess that's actually tripwire there. I just noticed that now. I never really noticed that before. I probably did when I was a kid, but you know, I'm getting older now, so maybe I can't remember every little thing. And yeah, but anyway, that's tripwire in there with some G.I. Joe grunts. So yeah, I didn't put them looking through the glass here, because as everybody knows, all this can open up. This comes down, and then the little sled is in there, and it pops out. And then this thing comes up, and then the Joes can all run out of there, kind of storm the beach, like the beaches of Normandy or something. And I really, really like playing with this one as a kid. And there's the little reconnaissance motorcycle I was talking about. And it can come out. And then my friend Joseph, he made me this awesome little motocross bike. He put some custom stickers on there for me. He put my favorite G.I. Joe figure on there, 1982 Sergeant Lonzo Stalker Wilkinson, as you can see in the writing there. And of course he put all the Canadian decals on there. There's one on the front and one on the gas tank. And yeah, this thing fits nicely in here. Yeah, that just looks way better than this little one here, the original one. And one of the cool features about this thing was that you would push this here and then the propellers would spin. So it would kind of look like it's taking off, like kind of taking flight over the water. This is Mixmaster Shane's favorite G.I. Joe vehicle, as he stated before on this channel. And it ranks up there for me. It's not quite maybe my number one. I know it's a lot of people's number one. HCC 788, he has it as number one on his list. And I know people like G.I. Joe Bird. They like it, but it's not their number one. But some other people really, really like it, and some other people kind of think it's just okay. But to me, I mean, it's totally awesome, and I really like it. So it's definitely up there for me. Killer Whale first appears in G.I. Joe number 28, which is right here, of the Marvel Comics. And it appears on this page here. This is the first panel it appears on. And you can see here Duke is talking to Cutter and Deep Six and Roadblock. And he says, looks like the whale is going to get a baptism fire for a shakedown cruise. And then he uses the acronym there for the first time. Waterborne Hovercraft Assault Landing Experimental. And I remember Larry back then, he would always use these little reference points in the comic. And it really, really helped as a young person to understand military things, different vehicles and weapons. And there's the first panel it's on. And this issue is really good. I mean, I always say that. Every issue is really good. But this one is an earlier one. It's from October 1984. And it just has a lot of action in it from a lot of great classic G.I. Joe characters like Firefly, Destro, Cobra Commander, the Baroness. Yeah, so I just really, really enjoy this this comic. And you can see here that the killer whale, it actually fights a Cobra Rattler, and something pretty cool happens at the end. I can flip to that now. So this Rattler here, piloted by Destro, is kind of kicking the Joe's ass. And you can see Deep Six there on one of the machine guns, as is Roadblock. But yeah, they're kind of getting it handed to them. You can see Deep Six there, he takes a hit. And I remember this comic back then because Deep Six had like a Gilligan hat from Gilligan's Island instead of his normal outfit for his diving. But yeah, anyway, I thought that was always kind of neat. And you can see here that Destro has made some pretty good hits there. He's blown off one of the machine guns in front of Roadblock. And he looks like he's hit Deep Six. But Roadblock has had enough. As you see here, even Duke got hit there. And Destro's coming in to finish him off. And then Roadblock's like kind of staring up. And Deep Six looks like he's had it there, as you can see there. But then Roadblock, he actually picks up this heavy machine gun so that Deep Six can lift it up. And then Deep Six lets some rounds go, and he blows the crap out of the front of Destro's cockpit, and Destro has to eject. I really enjoy these earlier Joe comics because they're just, well, you saw it right there. There's kind of realistic action. We had a Joe being shot, not just one Joe, multiple Joes, and an act of heroism, a Roadblock risking his life and going underneath that machine gun so that they could all survive. So I think that was really cool back then and taught kids reading that, you know, just maybe a little bit more how serious military stuff is, as well as having fun with it. And the killer whale, of course, appeared several times in the Sumbo animated series. And I've got a VHS here of the Mass Device. And it didn't appear in the Mass Device, of course, because Mass Device was 1983. But yeah, it appeared in the first Sumbo it appeared in was 1984's The Revenge of Cobra. And it became a staple for G.I. Joe's naval services against Cobra Command. For this video, I thought I would kind of put two videos in one, meaning that I was going to do a separate unboxing video. I haven't had that much time lately, and I thought maybe I'd compact it into one video. And a good friend of mine, Gojitron, has his own channel, if you want to check him out. And his name's Carl. And he's just a really, really good guy, of course. I don't have to say that to you guys. I mean, you guys obviously know how cool Carl is and how special he is for the community of toy collecting. He's been involved in the community for a long, long, long time, before a lot of us even started getting back into it. And he's had several collections over the years. And he's a 70s guy, which is totally cool because, well, I don't have to say why. 1970s was pretty kick-ass. But anyway, so yeah, let's open this box up and see what Carl sent Dave C. straight from the pit. Okay, so all I can say is wow. Like, he sent me like a ton of stuff, and even though I expected some of it because he told me he was going to send a few things, he really didn't have to do this. He sent me a lot of stuff, and I already looked at it. I took it all out, and I really, really like it. And what I like most, though, is the letter that he sent, and he even hand-signed it. And he said, "Hi, Dave. Here's a Jada die-cast G.I. Joe figures and vehicles that I reviewed. Hope you and Mixmaster Shane enjoy playing with them in the pit. Keep up the great videos. All the best to you and your family. Carl, a.k.a. Gojitron." So yeah, thanks so much, Carl. It's totally awesome. And he even gave me a sticker, like a cool Gojitron sticker. And this is the sticker he has for his channel on YouTube. And he was on Stu's live stream for a great charitable cause this past weekend, like a 24-hour live stream that Stu did. And it was really a pleasure talking to him and the rest of the guys on that panel. And yeah, so we can look at this stuff. We got like a die-cast Stinger. I don't know if you guys can see the size. Usually when I show these, they're 3 3/4, so you're going to think this is a regular Stinger because it looks so much like a Stinger, like a real 1984 Stinger. But it's like a mini die-cast version. It even has the original decals on it, as you can see there. I don't know if it's focusing in very well. It's kind of focusing on Serpentor back there instead of... okay, that's a little bit better. But it's got that Black Widow spider that it always had on it for the original decals. And it says BWX04, which of course is the original lettering that was on the 1984 Stinger. And it's got those rockets on the top, the 4 famous red rockets. And the 82 Vamp in diecast as well. And it looks identical almost to the 1982 3 3/4 inch Vamp. So yeah, these are really neat, totally detailed. And I'm very impressed with the quality of these. I remember he said that in his review, that these things, they were no joke. They were actually built really well. And you can see here underneath some of the construction. And yeah, even like the lights, the way the lights are, that's just like the old Stinger. And even has the camera on the front for the Vamp. And yeah, that's cool. The winch system on the front, and kind of, if you're stuck in the mud or whatever, you can put it around a tree and get out of there. So yeah, just really like these. Totally cool. And then of course, here are the die-cast ones, the figures. And I did see these at Toys R Us a little while ago, and I didn't pick them up. They're a little bit pricey, and but he sent me them, and that's totally cool. And the detail on these are really good, quite remarkable, really. And I'll enjoy putting these in front of my computer down here. And there's a whole bunch of them, as you can see. And Shane's going to do a little commentary on these in a second. We can kind of pick maybe the favorite ones we like. I think I'm really liking the Baroness and the Firefly. You can see Firefly, he's got his machine gun, but he's also got a 45 there, which is kind of cool because that's how he was depicted on the 84 card art. And I really like that. And I see here there's a hooded Cobra Commander, so there's a variant. And he even sent me the variant. And that looks deadly. That's a very cool little guy. Let's see him here, how he looks. And you can see there the detail is pretty wild on these things. And there's a Cobra Soldier, or Officer. Storm Shadow, of course. A Cobra Bat. And this Serpentor looks pretty neat. Kind of maybe how he would stand. Kind of an arrogant kind of guy that... He's powerful, though. We know he's powerful. But he also thought that he was kind of, kind of special. I guess because he had all the ancestry engraved into his DNA. So I guess anybody would who's from famous old-time leaders and warriors. And then, of course, I noticed these, which is totally cool. They are neat. And this is Snake Eyes. And looks kind of like the Snake Eyes from the movie that was released. Or maybe kind of even like a Renegades kind of Snake Eyes. A different kind of cartoon that came out later. And then, of course, he sent me the Baroness, who's my favorite Cobra character, in the same type of toy form. And that's kind of a cool blue outfit she has. Kind of like the Mass Device outfit. And the box art kind of looks like the classified version with the gold glasses on the bottom there, and the golden gun. She came with 2 golden guns. I had that one before, so I know all about that figure. And her boyfriend, Destro. And he's not looking at us now, so I'll make him look over here. But yeah, that's a nice looking Destro. Looks like the 83 original. And I really like that about newer stuff when they kind of hold true to the original form.
Yeah, these figures here are pretty cool. And I think they're pretty realistic to how they were in the 80s too. And Dusty's pretty cool. Pretty cool. He has the rifle there, and even has the thing for the desert on his neck there. Yeah. Here you have Flint. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It looks like just like the figure. He has the shotgun behind his neck. It's pretty cool. Firefly, just like the figure as well too, with the machine gun, handgun. Yeah, with the ski mask too. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. Favorite figure, Cobra Commander. Out of these, definitely the hooded Cobra Commander is my favorite here. I think so. He's a fist up and everything, cape. Pretty cool. Of course, you have the Cobra Soldier here too. Rifle in hand. He's not holding the AK, but still looking pretty cool. You have Serpentor in the corner there. Yeah, these are some pretty cool guys, and I'm really happy you sent these to us. And thank you.
Timber, come. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Dave C. Straight from the Pit. Just taking Timber outside for a walk in my backyard. Got a nice path that goes all the way to the back forest. And sometimes I take the dogs back here. Oh, just took a leak. Timber. Okay, see you guys next time.
Face to face in secret places, feel the chill. Nightfall covers me, but you know the plans I'm making still oversee. Could it be the whole of opening wide? A sacred wide.